Hey, closet busters and bold move makers. It is time once again for Life Uncloseted. So I want you to gather around because it is time once again to kick down those closet doors of your life. We're here to escape our BS, explore our fears, and elevate our self-expression. I'm your host, Rick Clemens. I'm the bold move expert and that coming out guy who's going to take you to the party, the pulpit, the wake, and back to the party of living your life uncloseted. So come on along with me and grab hold of yourself and get ready to step out, step up, and step into facing your fears, making your bold moves, and living life without apologies. Now let's get to the show. Hey, Life Uncloseted family. It is time once again for a special edition of Life Uncloseted. It is National Coming Out Day. If you've already listened to part 1 of Coming Out Without Coming Out Unglued, you know that we're doing a 6-part series here today in celebration of National Coming Out Day to talk about, common things that happen for people trying to come out of the closet. We already talked about feeling like, I'm not going to be accepted. And now we're going to step into one of the biggies, one of the really biggies, religion, faith, and God. And this always tends to come up for a lot of people who have been raised in very fundamental traditional faiths and practices of religion. And even sometimes those who've gone, I used to, but I'm not so sure I align with that, but I still believe in God. And then suddenly, whoosh, that doorway opens, or it's starting to open, but you can't be gay because God believes that you're a sinner, and we can love the sinner, but not the sin, and all that BS, which I believe is BS, because here's what I feel and I believe. And this is only my belief, but I've talked to so many people who come out of the closet who have these same feelings, is God is love. And he loves me, and he wants you to love yourself. In fact, those are the first 2 things I want you to really focus on if you're struggling in this arena. Number 1, love yourself. Because if you can't love yourself, how's anybody going to else love you? I think that's something that RuPaul kind of says. I kind of probably butchered that a little bit, but it's true. And who taught us love? God did. God brought us into this world, at least the way I believe. Now, you may not believe in a God, and that's cool. And if you don't believe in a God, then you're probably not having these struggles around this. But those of us who do believe in a higher power, and I do believe in a higher power, I actually use the word universe because I believe there's a beautiful universe out there that is supporting everything that I do. But remember to first love yourself and realize that God, universe, higher power loves you too. And then I want you to kind of say, screw the phrase, love the sinner, but hate the sin. I don't go with that. That doesn't work for me. Because you can't separate the two. I guess you can, but I don't see me being gay and that being sinful as 2 separate things. I am who I am. And I embrace that really deeply. And it took me a long time to get there. In fact, in the midst of my coming out journey, right after I had moved into one of my first apartments alone, I lived close to the beach in Laguna Beach, California. And one night I was feeling really down in the dumps. I didn't have my children at that time. And I just had a really rough conversation with some family members. And I went down to the beach, and I was pretty drunk. And I kneeled down in the sand, and water was coming up around me, and I screamed to God. Whoever lived around was probably like, there's some crazy person down there on the beach screaming into the sky. And I said, God, if this isn't who I'm supposed to be, then take me now. And I fell asleep on that beach. I know the tides had to have come in and come back out because I was soaking wet when I woke up the next morning. And I was still there. And I believe that if I was still there, that meant God wanted me still here. I believe the universe stepped in and said, Rick, you're meant to be here, and we want you around, buddy. And I don't believe I'd be sitting here doing these kind of podcasts had that moment not happened. Obviously, if I drowned, I wouldn't be doing these. But that was my wake-up call about God, faith, and religion. And ever since then, I have practiced from afar a faith in a higher power. I've dabbled in Buddhism. I practice some of that stuff. I do yoga, and I do meditation and mindfulness sort of stuff. I find my religion and faith in many different things. And I still believe that there's a big power out there who wants me to be here. So if you're struggling to find peace, what I'd like you to do is to write down a list of every reason that God or a higher power loves you and cares about you. And stare at that list as often as you need to remind yourself you are worthy of being here. You are worthy of being an LGBTQ individual on the planet. And hold that close to yourself, bring it into your soul, And in your worst moments, remember, I'm loved because I'm here. So that's my message for part 2, the coming out without coming unglued, and looking at part 2 around religion, faith, and God. And if you'd like those free chapters of my book, just go to rickclemons.com/free chapters. And it's Rick, CLEMONS.com, free chapters, and get those downloaded. And there'll be some other stuff coming your way, like the opportunity to do a complimentary strategy session around your coming out, or what it's like to be out and doing a session around after the closet door has been open and closed and now you're part of the community. What do I do next? All that sort of stuff. I'd love to just spend 30 minutes of my time and give that gift to you and truly have that time with you. So that's it. We're going to move on to the next part, which is let's talk about sex. I know we're going to go from religion and faith and God to sex, but hey, I believe God made us sexual beings, and I want to dive into what's it like when you get to this space where you're suddenly, what about the sex thing? What do I do? So we're going to catch you real soon with part 3 of Coming Out Without Coming Unglued. And that one is about, let's talk about sex. Catch you real soon. Hey, Life Uncloseted family. Another episode of Life Uncloseted has come to an end, and it is time for all of us to sashay away and go face our fears, make those bold moves, and stand up to living our life without apology. But before you do, I've got a favor to ask of you. Would you hop over to iTunes or Spotify or Podbean or wherever it is that you're listening to this and just give us a little bit of love if you like what we're doing here at Life Uncloseted. Here's what it does. It helps other people find the show. It helps other people get to know what we're all about. And you just might help change a life. In fact, if you really want to change a life, we'd love it if you just ask a friend to take a listen and see what they think. So that's it. Love you all deeply. I'm Rick Clemons, the host of Life Uncloseted, and never stop stepping out, stepping up, and stepping into living your life uncloseted.